is he supposed to do?
Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Goes to the Glory of God. My favorite thing today was going to the library. My favorite part of today was the more food.
How about you?
We different food.
What did you do outside?
Oh, hold on.
Did you play outside?
Yeah.
Did you have fun with that?
He's got a little
My favorite thing was actually doing school today. That's weird.
That's a 12-year-old boy over there.
Why was your favorite thing doing school today?
Because I am doing this thing that if there was an emergency and we had to have food for stores that were for 1 month, then I had to figure out what?
A family of 10 for one?
Yeah, a family of 10 for 1 month. It would cost like way over $1,000 for my estimates.
Why we don't let you shop?
I got to write to some friends and do some weeding in the garden and get some prayer meetings set up. So I was happy to have a productive day.
My favorite part was working on Spanish this morning.
Was what?
Working on Spanish.
How about you?
My two favorite things were being loving to my mom and dad and pulling weeds for my grandma.
I didn't
What
ask
about you?
him.
What was your favorite part of the day?
Probably milk, and more milk.
I said no food.
Go sit for a minute. Hey, Abigail. Abigail, can you tell what we had for meals today?
We had for breakfast, we had eggs and carrots with peanut butter on them. And cauliflower.
No. Oh, I thought no. Josiah had cauliflower.
Josiah
had cauliflower.
We didn't have
Okay,
What do we have for
hold
lunch?
on. Let me explain real quick. So today's meals were a little short because we were supposed to go to Sam's Club yesterday, and then we didn't go. That we were going to go to the doctor's appointment in Portland. We didn't go to that. We did it online. So I had shopping that I was going to do there that was accounted for meals today. And then we had a grocery order that was done early, but because of some things, we didn't go till after lunch. So I had to go with just what was still in the house. So our meals looked a little funky. Oh, here you go. Okay, go ahead. What was our
What are you
lunch
doing?
meal?
With your fake coughing guy.
Lunch
Yes, lunch. What's lunch?
soup and what else?
What was in your soup after?
Soup with rice and spinach and
And what?
cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Yeah, there was burger and there was broccoli and there was peppers and onions. I don't know all the things that went in that soup. And cauliflower
Here's
there
the one
was.
there from-
And cauliflower.
What did we just eat? We all cleaned our plates quite nicely.
We just ate for supper cabbage with some coconut oil on it.
Cooked cabbage, right?
Roll.
Not like
Yeah.
raw cabbage with coconut
Cooked
oil
cabbage.
smashed.
And rolls.
And,
And chicken.
and anything else?
And peppers. Peppers.
Did you have something else you wanted to say, Bob?
Nope. Hi. I love you.
Okay, so today was, what's today? Today's Tuesday, May 10th. May 10th. Her birthday was May 9th. So today's May 10th.
Pretty sure it's the 10th.
So we got up this morning. I thought we were going to have a big mess because, you know, children sometimes wet themselves at night. And Malachi came into my room soaked. Then I figured out that he had poured his cup of water on himself before we got up this morning. So his bed was soaked, he was soaked, but it was water. So what else do? We got up, we did breakfast, we did school, we did Bible. For Bible today, we were reading about Genesis 15. That keeps getting thrown on the floor. In Genesis 15, we were... You turn it
You got Dropsy's kid?
Right. So we were reading about Genesis 15, and we were reading about the covenant that God made with Abram, that he was going to have a son, and that his children were eventually going to be taken into another land and be servants, and 400 years later they'd get out and they'd have great possessions. We were talking about all of that. The study we're doing is going through world history, and we're about to get into the Crusades, which is between the Muslims and the Christians, and these two nations were from Abram, Ishmael, and Isaac. So what we were discussing today is, what is a covenant? What does that mean? It caused us to talk about some very interesting topics. We had
Aging of heifers.
aging of heifers and the old test they did on rabbits to find out if you were pregnant. We had to look that one up and see what that was. It's not actually in the Bible. We just were talking about things like that. We also had to look up what a fire pot was because we didn't know what a fire pot was. It talks about Abram has to cut the different animals in half and lay their halves apart, and then a fire pot comes down the middle. So we had to look that up. A fire pot was something they carried fire with them to a new place, which is what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure, so we looked it
It was
up.
a pot that you put fire
Here,
in.
in the face.
Surprise me.
Yes.
What'd you have?
Today I got a new beard.
You can get a new beard.
So we were discussing that. We were discussing, there was other things we talked about in that section. Oh, we were talking about God made this promise to Abram, and then it had us read verses in chapter 18 of Genesis, Genesis 18, 17 through 19, where it talks about, should I tell Abram, which is Abraham at the time, what I'm going to do in destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, and that he needs to command his children so that they know righteousness and justice.
What's the matter, you baby?
Take him out.
Is your sister coming to get
You're
you?
going down again.
Your baby.
What? You're being rescued.
So it was talking about how God was saying, do I tell Abram what I'm about to do to Sodom and Gomorrah? And then we were talking about how we should be teaching our kids about current events. They can't hear me.
Stop talking, kid.
More food.
Hold on. We should be telling our kids
Go away.
about
You. Stop talking.
about current events so that they can know what God's word says about these topics, that we can teach them so that they can know what righteousness is and know what justice is and knows what things look right and what things look wrong. She's trying to get the baby to sit up out there, and he's not happy. He's sitting up. He's just mad that she's making him work. So we were talking about that. There was something else we were talking about. I mean, we were talking about why he would take his wife and say she's my sister and be too worried about himself than his wife. There was something else we were talking about, though, about the stuff. What?
Mommy.
I don't know. We were talking about stuff. So anyway, we did Bible time. We did an early lunch and an early nap. We then ran in town to go to the library. Abigail said her favorite thing was going to the library. We went and picked up 2 books I had reserved at the library. Nobody went into the library. But we went to the library. We dropped off something for one friend, Bill. We dropped off some stuff for another friend, Todd. And then we went to Walmart and got a big order because I'm trying to stock our freezer with things that Josiah and the rest of us can eat on Josiah's diet. And so I bought a whole bunch of bags of broccoli and a whole bunch of bags of spinach and a whole bunch of bags of everything.
12 of each thing.
Like 12 of each thing. So our freezers are full of frozen vegetables, which is good. And we bought fresh vegetables and other stuff. So that's what happened today. We are about to go to the living room and fold a couple days worth of laundry because we don't do chores on Sunday. I think I've explained. So Saturday we caught up on laundry, folding it and putting it away, but we gotta do that again today. And then we're gonna read a book, and then we're going to go to bed. Actually, we're gonna read 2 books because I'm gonna read them a book while they fold laundry, and then they're gonna read a book right before bed. You ready? This baby is done. We will see you guys tomorrow on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.